On tonight's program, we have a special guest, HB Studios' Anthony Kyne. Let's see how he did the last time he was on our show.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Par 7 Challenge Hole with very special guest, King Kyne, L-Head Honcho at HB Studios, and the main man behind the golf club, who has shot one right into a tree.
Welcome to TGCT Live here on March 23rd, 2016. We have a huge show for you today. We'll be playing 2 courses with a special guest. You heard it right at the start. Anthony Kyne will be joining us to play Wahachi National, designed by Driver T, as well as Monte Cervino, designed by Scarpacci. Anthony Kyne will be taking questions from us, from our chat. We're looking forward to playing here on TGCT Live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another very special edition of TGCT Live. It is Wednesday, the 23rd of March. I'm Els41, broadcasting out of Harrogate in the UK. We also have, you've heard him already, Dr. Yeti from Salt Lake City. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
And we've got Crazy Canuck 1985 from Vancouver, Canada. How are you?
Hello. I am great.
And our very, very special guest from Dartford in the United Kingdom. It's King Kyne, aka Anthony Kyne of HB Studios. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, very good. Welcome along. This is going to be a very different experience from the shows you've done with Keith before, I can imagine.
Yeah, it'll be a bit different. It's I was looking forward to doing it when you guys contacted me. It was like, yeah, this is it's going to be a bit of fun. So,
do you ever get much time to just play your own game?
Well, I've been trying to in the last few weeks now because like we were going to do the March update and we were going to rush one out and try and get everyone on it. And I just thought, no, why don't we all just sit down and play the game? So that's what we've done basically, and just sit there and played it. If you noticed, I was a little bit more active on the TGC tours in the last few weeks.
Yeah. I've noticed, yes.
But then, as I was saying, my laptop, because my actual desktop PC that I use here in the office is not that good. Everyone else on the rest of the team's got an amazing PC, but I normally just use mine for emails and Word documents. Yeah. So I normally use a laptop that I normally take off to meetings and stuff. When we were trying to actually originally get a deal for TGC1, we go out and go. I had to take a big old box. I took a full PC. If you look at my Twitter account, there's me with a big silver box, and holding it up against one of the guys from Tekken in the Namco offices. And
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was actual full computer that I brought all the way to Lyon in the south of France from Nova Scotia via Dartford to go to this meeting to try and they were interested in signing the golf club.
What, Namco?
So I went down. Yeah, Namco wanted it. They were really keen on it, and then we ended up deciding we wanted to go it alone and stay indie, and we did what we did, and it was. But I had that, but I said never again am I travelling that amount of distance with full-on computer,
a full tower. Yeah, no kidding.
So we bought this really sweet laptop, which is also extremely heavy, and enough that I can walk around airports and stuff with it. But it went to GDC last week with Peter for the snowboarding game we announced, and he's been sick all week, so it hasn't come back. So. I haven't been available for the last couple of weeks to play any TGC Tours games.
Oh no! Well, is that an inverted commas sick all week? Is he actually just got himself up to the top of the TGC Tours rankings while he's been sick?
Who, Peter? I doubt it. I think he's so engulfed in snowboarding now that game is just like that team now are just like nothing's coming into them. No golf anymore. It's just pure.
Oh, snowboarding.
Yeah, they even went out before they went to DC. They actually all went out to the local ski slope and snowboarding for the days and getting audio and stuff like that. So that was cool.
Fantastic. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that as we go on, but let's start our first course. We asked the HB Studios forum and the TGC Tours forums to just put a list of courses down, or their own courses that we were going to play today. The two that came out of the draw we made offline, Driver T, I'm not even going to try and pronounce this.
No, something with a W.
Wow Hatchie National. But because I can't pronounce it, I'm just going to call it Nigel from now on. And then Scarpacci's Monte Savino. So, Nigel... Oh no, I don't want to report it. Why does it always ask me to report it? I haven't even played it yet. So, this is the first one.
Sony made us do that. Sony and Microsoft make you to report before you even...
Really?
Yeah, you got to... Just in case it's a phallic-looking course.
Oh, phallic.
I mean, who would do that, Irving? No, who would do that?
Well, you know the first course we made in the course designer here, Dave McFarland, our software architect, our very, very brainy man that came up with the idea of the course designer in 3 buttons. The first course he ever made was Glenn Fallis.
Of course.
So that was the only one. And then this is really bad, I shouldn't say this, but what we did is a company were interested in signing the golf club. So we took a screenshot of one of the screens, sent it out, and the front center in that screen was Glenn Fallis. So we had to get new screenshots out. It's quite amusing.
That's funny.
So that's why we went indie.
It all came down to a phallic joke.
Yes.
Basically. Your presence is not just welcomed by us. We have got 50 live viewers right now. Han is there, Driver T is there, Seamount for Life, Blue Orf, Smurfblade, Clay Bagel, Irving's there, P. Yates, Man Doily. We've got some celebs in the chat room, it's nice.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, Blue Orf started a hashtag crowdfunding for Anthony PC. That hashtag, you got to get that trending.
Yeah.
It's more of an excuse, so I can get out of doing certain things if I just go, the PC's not good enough.
It's clever.
Yeah.
Before we signed in, by the way, Anthony, I did try and add you to Steam. Did you get it?
Yeah, I just accepted you. I got Crazy Canuck just come up there. I can see.
Oh, let me see if I can find you on there then.
I got the 3 on my list.
So I don't know where the other 2 are.
I friend the game. Oh, I've got you. I've got you on it now. You're the purple player.
I've got all 4 slots of mine filled up. I've got to remove you, flight risk. I'm sorry.
Flight risk.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I can see both of you.
You don't want to. The last thing you want to do is follow my ball. In fact, whatever my ball does, do the total and complete opposite.
Well, I think that's the same for me.
So I have a question, and
okay,
we've said on this show that we're not gonna. It's not going to be like one of your HB streams where you get inundated with ridiculous questions. But I do have to ask when Ground Under Repair is going to be in the game.
Ground Under Repair. Yeah, Ground Under Repair, White Fence. Yeah. All the other ones that come out every week. Yeah.
That's a bit of a running joke for us, that Ground Under Repair thing, after someone genuinely asked it in one of our shows once.
Just a mini game where you have to negotiate a rain check.
When we first announced TGC, somebody asked for the ability to just walk around and try and find your ball in long grass. And it was like, really? Do people want to do that? It's like the worst part of golf.
Yeah.
You should build a drop simulator, like a little drop mini game where you physically drop the ball when you hit it out of bounds.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Well, actually, I was trying to do that when we first put the drop ball in, so you just left to do it and it would drop. Yeah. They told me I wasn't allowed. The other thing is, with Keith not being here tonight, I've got no one to keep me under control. So him and Lauren
banned him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we got rid of Keith. Yeah.
We do have to thank Keith, actually, for helping get you on the show.
Yes.
So thanks a lot,
Yes,
Keith.
very much. Yeah.
At the detriment of the HB stream. We've got,
Yeah.
we've got Anthony on ours.
Poor guy tries to get me on every week, and it's like every week I've got like so much on Wednesdays. I don't know what Wednesdays is, but Wednesday afternoon just gets piled up, and it's like I can't do them. And then you get the same questions every week. Everyone's given up on the golf club. No one's there. No one cares at HB. And it's like, talking about, we've got on our website, we're hiring 5 more people for the golf club team.
How do you deal with that? Like, just hearing that same crap every week. Like,
I laugh. I find it quite amusing. It's like, at least people care. I made a game called Kickoff World that no one bought and no one cared. So I'd rather people cared than not.
Fair enough.
I'll have some of that. Boom.
So a curiosity of mine, and first, thank you for making a game with a fantastic course designer, because that's something I have wanted forever, like all the way back to Sim Golf. And that's the sole purpose I bought the game. Was your intent to make a golf game with a designer, or a designer with a golf game?
Our intent, we wanted to make. We knew that EA weren't coming out with their golf game. We had a team ready to go because we were all set to make. I'd be part of the Tiger Woods team with them, and they said we're not doing it. And it was like, we really wanted to make a golf game. We had some good ideas, and and we said, well, why don't we go about make it like a $10 game. You know, everybody always buys one golf game for every system.
You're right.
We know we've got a year for like PlayStation and Xbox before they see a golf game. So why don't we just go and make a game really quickly? We haven't got enough money to get licenses or anything like that. We don't want like 5 courses and everything else is going to be too expensive to make. Why don't we just do a quick 3-click generator and generate some courses? And then it's infinite, and then you can share them. If the computer comes up with a really nice course, you share them out, and we just got to make it look really, really, really good. And we had all these standards we wanted to hit for a $10 game, and it has to look like this, has to look like that. And then we had this tank game that we were using. We were just prototyping for months before for Unity's terrain editor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we used, and we started doing that, and it was like, okay, now we make courses. And Dave McFarlane, one of the guys, he actually just went, well, I've got that in, and we started playing them, and the courses were like really good, and right, and then well, we want to move a bunker, okay, how can we do that? And then we want to add this, and we want to add that, and like we were so far ahead of schedule, because we'd done it in like 3 months, and then we had another year and a half to develop in, because we had to create a good golf game. So while the rest of the team were working on that, Dave and a couple of other guys were just going through and just like making the course design of what it was, and it became this huge, like, amazing tool in the end that Dave and Paul sort of own now, and then we've got a golf game that sits beside it. And we never really, like, PC wise, it was like we weren't really looking at PC golf. We said, okay, well, it's in Unity, it comes for free, so we'll do a PC game, but there isn't much of a market there. It turns out that was wrong. And then we released it early access, and then because I wasn't even thinking there was much of a golfing community out there, to be honest. Like coming from like making games like Championship Manager, where there's like hundreds of thousands of people, it's like, well, it's not really much of it. And then we start talking about it, and that Jay Coulthon guy comes up, and he's like, well, and he found some video from some local Nova Scotian channel that was talking about the golf club, and it was like getting out there. And next minute, our forums just blew up, and it was like, wow, there's like a huge thing here. And then we started putting it out to the early access. Well, we done the closed beta first. Yeah. And we put that out, and then people started feeding back to us and giving us ideas, and it was like, okay, there is a market for this. And it was funny because the game that me and Jeremy, who's our ex owner, he's sort of retired now. We wanted to make a very hard, challenging golf game that was like golf. But we didn't think anyone, like the community, would want that. And when we put it out there, it turned out that people did want that, and they didn't want power bars, and they did want the feel of the game and all that. And it was like, okay, we'll put this is what they want. So then we decided we'd go to early access, not as many people have said on Steam, we paid for your game. Well, putting you in early access, and no, they didn't. It was already paid for and done. We just wanted to get some feedback on, is this what people want? So we put it out to like a few more people, and that was where we got the feedback, and we sort of got the game that we got. And then once it got to a stage where we were thinking, okay, this is good now, we submitted to Sony and Microsoft and put it out on the consoles.
That's fantastic. What a story! And I have a question, sort of following on from that, but just the point to Yeti's question. The chat room has been busy. People saying that I bought it for the designer and the gameplay. That was Bassman. Dr. Loden bought the game for the designer. Set My Path has said the same. You must, once the game was out and in early access and then released fully and then out on the consoles, you can't have imagined it being as popular as this, could you?
No. I never thought that we'd get the community we did. I never thought we'd need a community manager. It was unbelievable that we needed something like that. We thought we'd push it out, we'd do it, wait till Rory McIlroy came out, and we'd be dead in the water. But we made a bit of money, and we can go off and make another game. And it was like, but all of a sudden it's grown, and we've got a team, like a specific golf team in house now that only does golf that I run. And it's just us, and we don't get sucked off into other projects, and because we normally have 3 projects running at once here. That was a bad putt.
What hole are you on, by the way?
I'm on the 3rd.
Okay, we play very fast.
I stopped hitting the ball because I was talking.
So we've got a hard-hitting question from the chat panel from Adam Hill. What is your favorite breed of dog?
My favourite breed of dog is Labradoodle.
Labradoodle.
I don't know. I'm not a big dog fan, to be honest. They're too needy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. I like cats. I don't even like them. When I was a kid, I got told I had asthma, and it turned out when our cat died, I didn't have asthma. I was just allergic to the cat.
Oh wow. Little putt. Yeah, that's one thing about this show actually, is that we do play quite fast. But
I'm trying to not embarrass myself here against you guys, so I've got to concentrate each shot, and you're smashing it around like speed golf.
All we constantly do is embarrass ourselves on this show, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh yeah.
Especially
I tweeted out the other day. It's an honour to be bad at your own game because it means other people are playing it. It's like all the games that I made that I'm bad at.
As soon as I start feeling good about my game in the golf club, I look at the leaderboards on TGC Tours and just get brought right back down to reality.
Oh yeah. Some of them people are 58. It's crazy.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I hear people say the game's too easy on our forum, and I'm like, it's easy for maybe 65 people out of the hundreds of thousands of people that bought it.
Yeah.
And then I look on Steam and people are going, "This is the worst game ever. You can't part. You can't do nothing. It's rubbish. Too hard." It's like, well, what do you want?
Yeah. Oh, not in that bunker. Oh, terrible shot. Carry on. Sorry.
So if you were to go home this evening and you had some free time to pick up a different video game, what would you be your go-to right now?
At the moment, what I'm playing during lunch is a Sensible World of Soccer.
Oh, classic. Okay, so 2 of our panelists right now have no idea what you just said. So
I heard soccer.
Yeah, so it's what are you playing it on? Xbox
I'm playing
Live
it on. I got it on GOG. I'm playing it on a So it's playing it on the PC with a Atari joystick that I bought, a USB Atari joystick I got.
Wow.
Okay, so it's a soccer game basically that came out in about 94, 3.
It was 94 because I was sort of semi-working at Anco, and they were the makers of Kickoff. The other 2 guys most probably won't know who that is either. No. But we made a game called Kickoff, and I was very lucky. I was 14 years old, and there's Anco is based in Dartford, or was based in Dartford, and I used to go into the little shop they had because back in them days they had I'd say a studio, but it was a shed to make games in, and then they had a shop in the centre of town, and I used to go in there and play all the video games, and there was a lovely lady there called Pauline who used to say, "Do you want to play this game?" And they used to let me test some of the games that they were making. and kickoff was being one of them. And I used to feed back what I wanted changed, and I don't think anyone ever listened to me. And the game got released, and I felt like really proud I'd had a part of it, which I actually didn't. And then really luckily managed to get my foot in the door when I was like 18, 19 as a programmer, and sort of started my career there. And Sensible World of Soccer had already come out at that point. But it was funny that I then got to work with John Hare, the guy that made Sensible Soccer, just before I moved to HB, on a title for a Doctor Who title. And
was that one of the BBC ones?
Right?
Yeah.
It was really bad. I worked for a company called Asylum who thought paying their staff was optional. And, and me and John Hare worked there, sat next to each other, and it was funny that because I ended up owning Anco, and John Hare was the owner of Sensible, and it was a big rivalry, and we ended up sitting next to each other, and it was quite amusing. Yeah. But yeah, what a great game. So that was what I'm playing at the moment. That, and I'm also playing a Sunless Sea on the PC.
Oh, fantastic.
Dr. Loden is saying he loved the music that used to play during the matches.
A Sensible Soccer. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So it was a top-down soccer game, and the players basically had nothing to stop them. So they just skid around all over the place. It was really quite difficult to control, but it was so much fun. It was absolutely brilliant. A lot of people saying the Division they're playing at the moment. That's good.
Yeah, that's what I'm playing too.
Game, isn't it?
Yeah, Devon's playing that here because we got a new graphics card. So what we've really cool stuff we've got coming in at HB at the moment is we've got this photogrammetry stuff. I don't know if you're aware of that, but
yes.
Yeah, so it's like a load of cameras and it's all set up. We needed a super PC to get all that stuff working. And with the graphics card came a free copy of The Division. So Devon's taken that and he's playing it at lunchtimes.
I'm really annoyed that his name's Devon and not Devon. I've been calling him Devon from the start. From my old wrestling days. Not many people are going to get that joke, but if you do, you can add me on Steam and you're my friend. I've just been told great shot from Blue Orf, so that's made my evening. We do giveaways on this show, and we'll do on hole 11, which is the penultimate par 3, because Canucks now
my favorite word.
Gone for a lie down after I said that.
Oh yeah.
On hole 11.
Oh yeah.
The first game we're giving away is XCOM Enemy Unknown today, which is
that's the other game I'm playing at the moment because I'm.
Oh really?
Are you playing the first one or the second one?
The first one.
Oh right.
Like yeah, because I'm cheap and I buy them when they're on sale. Yeah. And so I got all the hype from the second one, but they're playing the first one.
How do you think I bought the golf club? It was on sale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Right. This is the problem with Steam. It's like, why would you ever pay full price? But yeah, what I do is I name all my soldiers after Dad's Army characters and page 3 models.
Nice.
Yeah. So Maria Whitaker got just blown up last night. She was destroyed. It was disappointing.
It's so sad when you lose a well leveled up soldier.
Oh, I know. That was actually another game I made for Anco, just a very brief period of time when I first started there, is I converted, I think, to the PC or something like that. I can't even remember what it was, but I was like 19 and I was very geeky, and my first game was Maria Whitaker's Christmas Box. It was a strip poker game. And I think it was the first time I'd seen a pair of breasts since I was breastfed.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's like trying to crack the code to get into Leisure Suit Larry so you could see that one pixelated boob.
Yeah.
And they were so clever back then to check your age. They'd ask you a question about something that happened in the 60s. You're like, oh damn, I'm 13 years old. How am I supposed to know that?
Where's my encyclopedia?
Yeah, the Google. The Google of the 80s.
Yeah.
So after 9, Canuck as usual is winning.
Yeah.
He's got
10
no, he's
shots
not.
on me. Oh yes, he is.
Yeah. He's got 10 shots on me, and I'm back on the hole 7.
Okay, I have a question that you might or might not be able to answer. Has there ever been anything in the golf club that was 2 seconds away from being in it that got canned at the last minute?
Um.
Because it was stupid or funny or just didn't work? Or?
No, I can't recollect anything like that. The game development's gone a little bit too serious for that now, and it's too bigger beast to sort of do that. When in my days at Anco in the 90s, there was loads of things that got in and shouldn't have got in, or went in and came out just before.
Yeah.
But you don't. If it's decided on it's going in, by the time you decide it's not going in, it's too late.
So you don't have to tell us what it is, but are there any odd Easter eggs? Like if you're in the Greg Norman Course Designer and you hold right bumper and press F7 while dancing on one foot, will a fireworks display happen or something?
No, we didn't. We're still releasing updates now to try and get the product to what we wanted it to be. So to have time to do an Easter egg.
That's going in the next update.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we made this game? What would happen?
Yeah. There was some great Easter egg stuff I've added into games in the past. There's a guy. I won't name him because he's still in the industry and does reasonably well. But we used to call him King of the World because he used to think he was in charge of everything, and he was just useless. So in one football game that I worked on, if you typed King of the World during the match play, the ball would change into his head, and then you would kick around, and it would be a 3D object, and it would like bounce around on his nose. But the more you kicked it, the more bloody that head would get. So he had that, and there was one Player Manager 2. I don't know.
I recognise that name. I don't think I ever played it.
Yeah.
I might have played the first one. Is that
Yeah,
we're
it was
talking
like a-
Mega Drive hit or Genesis for the States?
That was on the Amiga and PC. But what happened was there was like a doll's house outside of the a football stadium, and if you moved your mouse around, there was like in the physio's room there was like a picture on the wall of a skeleton, and if you got that right, the exact pixel where its rectum was, it would say rectum. Yeah, that was in the God of fun. Oh, actually, we done a me and Steve Screech did a music game download on a disc for another game. I can't remember what game it was, but if you looked on the disc and typed dir, you would get the like the list of all the files on there, and there was another game on that disc. It might have been Player Manager actually. That was a music management game called Ambition. So that was
Did that ever get published by itself, or was it just a hidden Easter egg?
Hidden Easter egg game that mostly no one ever played apart from me and Steve, because nobody ever knew it was there.
Well, Anthony, I made you feel better on the last hole because I just took an 11 on the 10th hole.
What?
I got stuck on the side of a hill. Yeah. So don't go in that bunker short of the green because you can't get up. Thanks, Driver T, for that.
So I've put in the chat room, guesses please, and it's been flooded, which is fantastic. Just give me 2 seconds, and for a few more to come in, and I'll hit, if that's alright, so people can...
So for those who haven't played XCOM, it is a turn-based strategy game where you're managing like 4 to 6 units at a time, and you're trying to clear a map of very aggressive aliens, and it is permadeath for your soldiers, so you have to be very careful and manage your team wisely. There's also a really cool kind of global meta game where you're managing your base and protecting the world from aliens.
So, I'm going to ask one of you guys, please, to just keep an eye on the chat room for who's got close here. We've got a 71-foot drop. So, I'm going to have to take off about 30 yards here from that. If I hit about 145, what do we reckon, chat room? Will that do it?
Yeah, I think 145 is a good club.
Ooh. Okay. Leroy!
My favourite thing in
The
gaming.
favourite thing on the internet.
Yeah.
On the internet.
I can't believe he's done that.
Oh no! I'm in the bunker. It bounced on the fringe and bounced backwards. That's the most weird bounce ever. Anyway, so I'm 14.
I saw that.
I'm 14
Who
yards.
designed this game?
What's 14
Let's see.
yards? 28
42 feet.
42 feet.
42. Oh boy, let me check.
Doily has 38. That's 4 feet off.
Of course it's Doily. Yeah, that's the closest.
It's the Russian version of Doily. Doilev.
Doilev.
Doily's Russian cousin. Yeah.
I think that's the
well done.
winner. Doily.
You know what to do. Get in touch with Dr. Yeti after the show, and you can have a copy of XCOM, and then you can beat King Kyne at it.
Yeah, that wouldn't be hard either.
Have you ever played the multiplayer of it?
I played one night and got destroyed, so I turned it back off and cried a little. I'm really bad at video games. You know that? It's embarrassing. I worked on Kickoff. I went to World Championships, got put in the last place wooden spoon, and just saved myself against a guy that was playing with a keyboard. How? And then I play Championship Manager. I was the lead designer on Championship Manager, and I play it. I haven't been promoted, won a trophy. I play Football Manager year on year now, and I play it all the time, every weekend. I never get promoted. Dartford finish mid-table every year. I'm really bad at video games.
Are you playing the latest one, Football Manager?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Because there's someone that you're going to know then, who I used to sit next to at Watford, who's still one of the main people there at that company that make that game.
Miles?
Yeah, Miles.
Yeah.
I've met a couple of times. He's a nice bloke.
He's alright?
Yeah. But yeah, that game, I mean, people think that people have got a lot of hours on the golf club, and there are some people I've seen who have numbers of hours on the golf club, unlike anything I've seen. But some people have hours on Football Manager that you just wouldn't believe. Thousands and thousands and thousands.
I think most people that play Football Manager though just they leave the game on for the whole season. They don't turn the computer off.
No.
And they don't play anything else. They only buy their computer for Football Manager. So
yeah.
It's... So I've got a question for Anthony. Have you heard about from Root UID Dino's new game Kickoff Revival? Have you heard of that?
I have, yeah. I was reading about it on Eurogamer the other day. Yes.
Very interesting. Also from Felix Ure. Have you thought about making a hockey simulation?
Oh, there you go.
Well,
all of the Canadians just exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a chance to work on NHL a few years ago here with EA, and they asked me did I want to be the producer on it, and I said no. Because the last thing I want in my day-to-day job is to be told every day by a load of Canadians what they want in the game, and they're so passionate about it. It's like, we need this, we need this, we need this. It's
they
like,
will riot in the streets if you don't get it, especially in Vancouver.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
That's a good call. Yeah.
So I just went, no, give it to a Canadian. So I went and worked on a baseball game instead because I knew way more about baseball. Not. But we got 5 million downloads for it, and it was on the iOS, so I was happy with that.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah. What game was that?
It was called Home Run Derby.
Oh, okay. I think I downloaded that. I think I was one of the 5 million.
Yeah, it was a good game, and I got to go to the Home Run Derby, courtesy of the MLB, and a really cool swanky party with a red carpet. And I had my girlfriend couldn't come with me because she was working, and I've got a friend in New York who's a Asian bisexual, so I got caught on the red carpet by the paparazzi with an Asian bisexual.
Nice.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen every day.
No, exactly. That's what you do. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't do the NHL thing. I don't think we worked on it in the end. Actually, thinking about it. Yeah, we didn't do the NHL. We worked on.
So I can say it's crap then, because I don't really like the latest versions.
Yeah, well, I said I don't play them, so I don't really know. I'm thinking about getting the new UFC game though.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Are you a fan of UFC?
I like this.
It's really big here in Canada, and I sort of got into it when going around people's houses on a Saturday night and watching it. I thought it was a bit touchy-feely for my liking when I first got here, because it's just mainly men rolling around the floor in not playing rugby, which I couldn't quite understand. But then
rugby, Americans, Canadians, do you know what we're talking about there?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
And but it seems to have grown on me a little more, especially with Conor McGregor. He's just so funny.
He's someone it's very him and I know she lost, but Ronda Rousey are two people who make it very, very easy for people to get into that sport. They're very sort of,
Mm-hmm.
Clay Bagel said two things that I'm interested in. I think one, he played rugby, very nice, and two, he used to. Hang on, let me go and find what he said. He grew up with a relative of Watford great and American national footballer Jay DeMerit, former captain of the US team. Play for us, yeah. He's a good guy.
Used to be captain of the Vancouver Whitecaps.
He did? Oh, there we go. We've all got something in common with him.
Yep.
Oh.
There we go. I've caught up with you, but not on score.
No, this is rare. You're going to have to come on more often because I'm winning.
Lucky charm.
My 11 didn't help.
Yeah.
Stop. That might change now.
Oops.
Yeah, I'm struggling a bit the last few holes. I'm having a tough time getting my pars. I'm really fighting here.
This is an absolutely fantastic course. We've barely mentioned the course, actually. What do we all think?
Yeah, no, it does look amazing. I think it's really, really nice.
It's very nice.
We were actually talking before you dialed into our call about sort of the designer, and you must have. So, for example, there were some designers who had worked out that if you put a load of benches together, you can make stairs, and had worked out how to make retaining walls before they were even a thing. That sort of thing must have surprised you, must it?
Oh, it blew our minds. I couldn't believe it. It was like you'd see stuff like that guy. I can't remember his name now. He made the train tracks, and I was going, how? So we got his course and we loaded it back up in the designer and sort of reversed engineered how he made the train tracks. And we worked out, and I was thinking, how much time did he spend on them train tracks? That's more than I spent on Littlebrook Manor, which I should be showed to it.
We can tell.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was P. Yates, wasn't it? Was University Links the first one we ever saw train tracks on?
He's on the stream. He's here somewhere. I saw him earlier.
Yeah, and
probably
it was like,
smiling ear to ear.
But like we were talking about this the other day, Rami had a very good point. It's like the things that you designer guys do to try and create what you want, like massively kills our frame rate. Like use a bench instead of a step, because we didn't have it available. So we're thinking about just putting some like blocks that you can manipulate with and put textures on. So then you can build anything from them. Then so you don't need to.
That would be great.
Yeah, you don't need to use like 5,000 polygons when one will do. Yeah. So so that's sort of the plan.
Did you find yourself going in and going, okay, to get this cool stairway effect, he did 75 benches. We may need to go and lighten up the bench asset and remove some of those polygons. Have you ever had to do stuff like that?
What we found was, we just looked at it and went, okay, what we'll do is people obviously want stairs, so we'll put stairs in because we didn't want to. If we start changing the model, it would maybe affect the way the game generated the courses. So some of them things won't play. Oh god, that was a bad shot. What did I do there?
You guys are
And you're
actually
not
gone ahead
thinking.
of me all of a sudden. If there was one thing in the game you could have back, is there anything that you'd be like, wish we didn't do that?
I wish. No, if I say this, people are going to go mad. I wish we hadn't put the option in to do True Sim Tour. I don't like the no green grids. I really don't. I just don't. I think it's insane that anyone want to play that way. Maybe we need to do it in a better way. That's why I put that question up on our forums a while back about why no green grids. It's because like I'm looking at a way. I want to try and find a way of doing it in a way that isn't excluding anyone, because I hate that. As soon as we put that option in to make the drive difficulty harder, it's like everyone wants to drive difficulty harder. Okay, fine, I'll do that. As soon as we put the option in, how do I stop other people playing against me that haven't got that? It's like that's what I hate. about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
People always think that I'm anti-options. You can have a million options. I don't mind that. It's just excluding people, and the fact that going, oh well, I actually won it even though I was 7 over because I had this setting where you had that setting, and it's just like, in like, I take it from soccer games and stuff that I've played. Is like, if I'm playing as Man United and I win the FA Cup, well done, Miss Man United. If I'm playing as Wycombe Wanderers, that's a bigger achievement. I don't have to set any more difficulty levels on that.
Yeah.
It's the achievement of picking the team. And it should be the same with golf, and
Yeah.
I believe that golf is one of the oldest sports in the world. It's got a great system called the handicap system that has worked, and been tuned over a couple of 100 years. We should be able to get that to work and fit nicely into it. So rather than these difficulty settings where you then go, okay, I only want to play against people that have exactly the same settings as me, and that means there's only 4 people online in the whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so bringing it back to some of the comments we had at the very start of the course about buying it for the designer and gameplay people were mentioning, that was another big factor as to why I was turned on to this game. Is everyone is the same. There's no power bar. There's no glove that gives you 15% more accuracy. Everyone has got the same thing, and you just have to execute your shots.
Yeah, and that was a big thing that we decided before we even started putting any code in the game. Really, it was like, we're all working guys, we get a couple of hours a night if we're lucky, and there's nothing worse than going home, putting on a game after it's been out a week and just getting destroyed by a load of people who've just got hours and hours in a day that we just don't have. So we wanted, it was like, okay, why don't we have no attributes, no nothing, it's just who's the best, and who's going to sit there and learn how to play the game, and who's going to master the game.
Was that something that
a
decision was debated, or was that a decision that you all came to straight away? Or were there people in the office saying, no, I want power bars and that sort of thing?
No, because I think what happened was me and Jeremy, we sort of agreed. We had we were really lucky that, because Jeremy, the guy who used to own HB, he's the guy that made Emlyn Hughes soccer.
Oh, right.
Funny enough, way back in the day, and had a company called Audiogenic, which also made World Cup Rugby or something like that, I think it was. So he's got that old school mindset that I had as well, and we both just said, yeah, we don't want to do that, and we both looked at each other and went, yep. And then the no power bar was actually an accident. I don't know if you've heard that story before. We had a power bar in there.
Oh, really?
Laura, our graphic artist, one Friday night, put up something and broke the power bar, and I went home with the build, and Jeremy went home with the build, and we both played it all weekend without a power bar, and we actually loved it, because we couldn't play with the power bar. It's like, wow, this game actually feels way better without a power bar. It feels like proper golf, because the power bar is just a mini game, and it's the reason why I don't want 3-click, is because all you do is you concentrate on that little part in the corner of the screen, and it's just a little mini game, and then the results of that mini game is played out on a golf course.
Yeah, exactly.
Where that's not golf. Golf is all about sitting there and going, okay, the feel of the ball, it's all about my golf game's pretty poor. It's mostly much like my TGC game play, but I'm good around the green. I've got a good touch around the ball, so I can just get it near the hole, and then I can always putt. It's just my driving and stuff is wayward. So I wanted to recreate that feeling that people could really improve if they got the feel of the ball right. And I think the thing that we really fouled on was not getting a putting green in there or something, just to get that feel down before we started.
I think nice. I think
that's where the game. Yeah, because when you move from course to course to course, the greens are so hard. It takes you 2 or 3 holes to get used to that feel of that green. And so if we had a putting green where you could spend 10 minutes on it before you went out, it would just be that would solve a lot of my problems, really.
Jim Gemma said putting is one of the best aspects of the game, because we are all at the same level at it, and he's saying that because he's probably the best. So I
remember the first time I saw Jim Gemma score, I went, that guy is cheating. I'm playing his ghost ball. He's definitely cheating. And I played his ghost ball, and I remember tweeting out or putting something, Jim Gem is the best player of this game I've ever seen. It was just amazing. The guy is just a genius. I don't know how he lies.
There are 2 other people in the chat room right now who are fuming with you. I'm not going to mention them, Blue Wolf and Doily, but if they're still listening, they're not moving. But what did we think of Nigel?
Nigel was great. Other than that
yeah,
tadpole where I ended up.
I really like that course. It looked really nice. It played really well. It didn't make me want to punch anyone. Yeah, good.
Is that how you feel sometimes, that you want to punch people who make courses?
It's really weird because my desk is like reasonably flexible here, and it's got a lot of crap on it.
Yeah.
So when I'm playing on TGC tours, and there was one course there the other week that the greens were horrendous, and I hit the ball, and it would go past the hole by an inch, and then end up off the green, and I punched the desk twice, and there's 100 people in the studio, turned around twice because they thought I was shouting at someone or something.
Someone's just been fired.
Yeah, and like it's going to become a HR issue because the language normally isn't very good that goes along with the hitting of the desk either. So it's like
standard.
And Canadians aren't used to sort of like that British Irish sort of language that we use.
No.
So when these sort of like massive expletives come out, people are like, "Oh my god, he just said that word!"
I know. Well, somebody didn't say sorry.
So the second course we're going to play is Monte Savino. It's the one without CC in the title because there are two, and this is made by I believe he's in the chat room. I've seen him in there. Antonio Scarpacci, who's made a lot of very nice courses over the last year and a bit or so. It was in one of our par 3 competitions and that sort of thing. So let's go. What's happening here?
Monte Savino without the CC,
yeah. It's got about 100 and something, 109 plays.
Yeah, it's handicaps pending, so I always like to get one in and get the handicap rating in.
Look at that for a tee first tee.
Oh, the new Swiss theme here.
It's really nice. Is there any particular designers, Anthony, that when you see, or you're looking through the course and you see, oh, they've released a new one, you'll gravitate to or anything?
Let me think. When the game first got released, it was always Taste. Taste was the guy that came out with a few amazing ones at the start. That was the guy. I don't know if you ever saw Taste. The day we released the game, or released the early access, Taste put out a video of him creating this insane hole, like 18 holes in this one green, and he was just like commentating over it, and he was just laughing his ass off. It was hilarious.
See, he was one that we were again talking just before you came on. Who was really pushing sort of the boundaries of the designer very early on. He was the one who found out about the stairs making the chairs and that sort of thing, and the opposite. And I'm not surprised you said him, actually. Yeah,
so he was the one that really caught my mind first. Then there was Crazy Canuck, obviously.
Good answer.
Oh, his courses are rubbish.
Your courses are always like really solid. So it was like one of them things that it was like, okay, I normally play his, and then Biggins, just because I just love reading the stories that he puts in the forum, and like I have to do that. I have to play those.
Yeah. Oh, and his courses are top notch, some of the best in the game.
So them definitely. But no, to be honest, I just like Keith normally tells me which ones to play.
Felixer has said, question, you guys should make a series on TGCT where you get a newbie and try to make him better. Well, that's what we're doing today.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's very true.
So a few things in the chat that people have been coming up with is, the obvious with the kind of the success of TGC. Is there talks of a sequel? Is there? I don't know if you can answer that, but
it's sort of, that's what we're sort of looking at the moment. It's like where do we go? Mm-hmm. So the plan at the beginning was that we would release a base game. We thought, as sports game fans had sort of been ripped off over the years, really, with the yearly updates that are very small, minor bug fixes and data updates, really, and the big new feature maybe once every 2 years, and they charge $60 every time they come out. And so we were saying, okay, we don't really want to do that. It'd be nice to release a base game and then build on that and like give some free content away, give some like DLC away that's paid, and see how that fits in. But the problem we found, I think, over the last year and a half is that the DLC sold well, but it didn't like blow anyone's mind. Of the way it was going to go. It didn't sell as well as like if a new copy of the game had come out. Right. So it's like, okay, so is it covering the costs of doing the season mode?
Shocking. Yeah.
You know, and it's like if we keep adding more features, big features like that, they're big money features that take a lot of time to create. Are we gonna cover our costs in the long run? So there's that. Then the other thing is that if you look at the game when it was released, and the reviews that we got, you know, we got 7s and 8s, and it done really well. But the game is so much better now. But we're not getting re-reviewed, and I went to the guys, and I've got a really good relationship with most of the people in the press, and they're going, yeah, we really love the game, it's come on massively, but we can't re-review it because that was released back then, and that's when we review. So it's like, okay, so we're not, and there's no marketing, there's no push for it, and it's like, well, is it easier to do another one? So it's sort of where we're at the moment. What do we do, like with TGC1 and sort of.
Yeah.
Like, do we go for a TGC2 or do we keep building on that? And it's like that's why I wanted to have these. Haven't put the March update out, and we're just sitting there playing it and going, okay, what really needs to be done to say this is it? We can, you know, do we draw a line there, or do we go, okay, we can open up these avenues and there's ways to monetize it this way and that way to keep the game growing? Because, you know, I do believe there's so much more we can do. It's just the other thing is as well is like certain things that we've found over the time. Oh Jesus! I just hit the tree. That's me trying to bend it around the corner.
Yeah, I made that mistake as well.
Yeah. It's like if we want to change swing, like, and put tempo and stuff into the swing, and we want to change the flop shot to make it harder, because that's one of the big things that I think that we made a mistake on. It wasn't actually meant. The flop shot was meant to be the hardest shot in the game.
I use it probably at least 3 times a round.
I use it a lot, yeah. From like 9 yards out, I find myself flopping because I find it to be the easier shot than chipping.
Because the slogan on this show is chipping, not even once.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and it's like the whole point of the game was feel and getting that feel of the chip and all that, and the flop just became the easiest shot in the game, and we can't. People made a very good point, and I'd never thought of it until we'd done that sort of swing change where everyone said they had to slam the stick. Which that drove that might made me kill myself because
I remember that when you had to put out a video.
I put a video of me doing it one-handed, not slamming the stick, and people going, "I'm slamming it," and I'm going, "Why? Why are you slamming it? You're doing it wrong." But like people had a valid point at that point was that I bought the game and it is this, and then you're changing what I bought, and it's like that's a good point. So you know, TGC2. Like, it was something that we always said, well, we can't see ourselves doing, but now I think it's really opened up a lot of questions, and we want to do a TGC2 because it's maybe a better way to do it, and then we can measurably go away and get like a chunk of funding or do it ourselves or whatever, and go, okay, we can add all these things and try and be like the #1 golf game out there now. You know.
Well, what competition have you got? You've got EA. The thing. I have played the Rory McIlroy game, and I thought it was good, not great. I preferred the Masters TW14 or whatever. Was that it? It was like the Masters edition, which was good. But there's the Dark Side game that Canuck's been playing.
Oh yeah.
But what else is there really? They're kind of the main ones, aren't they?
Yeah, there's not really much else out there, really. You know, I think the most played game and the most successful is mostly that World Golf Tour, but that's just a set of pictures.
That's just an internet game, though, isn't it? That's not you don't buy that or anything, do you?
No, but they make a ton of money. They're the guys that are really.
Yeah, because you got to buy golf balls every round or something stupid like that.
Well, that's never the sort of game that I ever really wanted to make and play. So. There's them, but yeah, overall, I think it's between like for us, Perfect Golf, and Rory, and you know, I think there's a market for all of them. See, it's very hard to get into that EA market. You know, like people go in to a shop, and you know they're going to go, okay, I want a golf game. This one's $24.99, and this one's $60, but EA make this one, so it's mostly going to be good. You know, you always know an EA game's not going to be terrible, so it doesn't matter. You always it's a safe bet. It's like if I want to buy a hockey game, I want to buy any like back a few years ago when there was many like most sports were done by several companies, you'd always buy the EA one if you weren't quite sure, because you knew it was always a safe bet that it's going to have a certain quality. They've got a certain benchmark, and that's why we work with them, and we're really lucky to do stuff like Madden and stuff with them, NHL and that over the years, because there's a quality there, and we know what their quality benchmark is like, and it's been good for us, to have something like that to always. That's how our process works now. So we know that certain qualities have to be met, and we're good at passing cert with Sony and Microsoft and stuff like that, because we know what they're going to be looking for.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I think the other thing is as well. There's a market for the EA game, because people want to play in the PGA Tour and they want to play against pros and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they're sort of. They can't really do some of the things that we're doing because they're stuck with the licenses.
Right.
Yeah.
And licenses are a pain, but they're great. They shift copies of the game.
Well, it's why it's why FIFA has outdone the competition in the football market, isn't it? Yeah. Do you play? Talking of, you mentioned like people want to play against the real pros and things. Have you had a chance to play many of the real course renditions that people are making here? Because since the texture swap in particular, the number of people actually trying to recreate real-life courses, both their own local ones and, Chambers Bay, Troon, Magnolia, which is Augusta, they've all been done. Crooked Stick has just come out. Have you played any of those? What do you think?
I played a good chunk of them, and they're all really, really amazing. Like, the Magnolia one just blew my mind, especially when you updated the 2016 version.
With the pine straw.
Yeah, that was they look great. Chambers Bay I played. So I'm always amazed by what people can do. I'm one of the reasons we started making the golf club, as I've always said, was I wanted to make my local golf course and play as a good golfer.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons we did the editor like that. It was like, okay, it'd be nice to create Lunenburg Golf Course. It turns out that I'm just as bad in the game as I am in real life. My current handicap is 22.5 in this game. My handicap in real life is 24. So.
Oh wow!
There we are. Hey, life and reality.
You shouldn't have made Littlebrook Manor so tough, though.
I know. Well, that was funny because Jeremy at the time was making all the courses, and he's just like he's a vindictive designer in the fact that he wanted everyone to be challenged. And I was going, people are going to pick up this game for the first time. No power bar. There's not been a game like this for years where it's like actually difficult. I said, we've got to make an easy course. So I made Littlebrook Manor with big greens, nice and flat, slow. And what makes me laugh, there's one guy, and I don't think he plays our game anymore, but he friended me up on Steam, and he was one of the guys that always said it was too easy, it's too easy, it's too easy, it's too easy. And every time I logged on, he'd be on Littlebrook Manor.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I don't know if his buttons were stuck on his joypad, and he booted up the game and it flew into Littlebrook Manor every time he just booted up the game, and he went, the game's only got one course and it's too easy. So I don't know.
Well, doesn't the play button on the menu just open up Littlebrook Manor?
It does if you haven't got a previous one, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever considered just making the play button pick a random course from the suggested list or the official list or both?
Or one of mine?
We did actually. Well, we talked about it, and I don't know why it never really got done. I think it might do now. Actually,
I have a question for you. This is going to be it's one I've asked on this show before, so the chat room might have heard it. If you could have the choice of a win on TGC Tour's PGA Tour or a course that gets 10,000 plays, what would you have?
Oh, I've already got the most plays ever, and I've got 350,000.
Right. Yeah, we know. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
So I'm already victorious. I just want the win now on the PGA Tour, and then my life's complete.
A course that's good that gets 10,000 plays. What would you rather have?
I would take the win. I'm all about winning. Yeah.
How about our chat?
It was funny because I had a list of courses I was going to make after release. So Littlebrook Manor is the road that my primary school was on in Dartford.
Okay.
And then there's a housing estate in Dartford.
Oh, what a stupid shot! Sorry, carry on.
I was gonna make a desert course called Phoenix Place, and there was all these things that I'd named after places in Dartford that I was going to release. And then after like 3 weeks of the game being out and everyone making way better courses than I will ever be able to make, I just threw them away and never did them. It's just like, yeah, I'm giving up.
You should enter one of our par 3 competitions sometime. It'd be interesting. I'd love to see how well you did. What you come up with.
Well, we love Keith. He's our HB course maker now. He's like,
Yeah.
He is.
He makes good stuff.
he does, yeah. And he's Highland's made the officials today. I'm so like behind on my emails that like he sends me. I've just put Highlands out. Can you make it official? I think it's been out for like 3 weeks, and I finally got around to doing it today. Yeah.
Keith has always been so incredibly gracious with his time when it comes to this show and us and TGC Tours. It's been absolutely great having him.
He's such a massive help for me. It's like, as I said, we weren't expecting to need a community manager, and then Lauren made himself available, and it was like, yeah, this is getting a bit too much for us now. We're going to need someone. Yeah. And then Lauren said, look, I'm moving back to the US. I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. It's like, oh no, what are we going to do? And Keith, like a few people recommended Keith, and I spoke to him, and it's like, yeah, this guy's perfect for us.
Yeah.
I love having him in part of the team. You know, it's nice.
Yeah. Callie, who's related to Keith, would take the 10,000 plays. NF56 would like to get 100 plays. Anyone else on the chat who wants to let us know what they would do? I think the majority of people would take the win, which I'm quite surprised at. Yeti, you said you'd have the 10k, right? I would have the 10k.
Yeah. I've got 2 courses, one that's above and one that's close.
Yeah, I got one that's above too, but I did it with Reeb, so that's 5 each.
I think my course has like 22,000 plays, and I think it's because when HB put out a patch that introduced tournaments, I think the first ever official tournament was on one of my courses. And,
maybe, yeah.
And that got me a ton of plays really quickly.
Oh yeah, I can't forget you, Yeti, because Hoodoo Hills is one of my favourite courses in the whole game.
Oh yeah, that's a great course.
Yeah, because somebody actually contacted us about some work a couple of weeks back, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're looking at we need a golf game to do something." I can't even remember what the deal was now, but it was like Alan, our CEO, came to me and goes, "Well, how do we show this game off in the best light?" I went, "Hoodoo Hills."
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so that's what I'm using that to show the game in the best light. So that was.
Hey, there we go.
Well, thank you. Be sure to pick the remastered one.
Yeah, that was the one. The remastered one is the one with the rocks formed in the corner and the sun shining through them. It just you look at it and you go, wow.
Yeah, it's unreal.
And if you ever want to show someone just how far the game has come, open up the original Hoodoo Hills and then compare it to the remastered one, because the original one was released in like early access V08 maybe. You know, when we didn't have surfaces. You know, it was basically T-box midpoint green was the way you routed your holes. Yeah.
No, we put a lot really in the game, and you know, if we went back to that build, it would be like, wow, is that what the game looked like back then?
Yeah.
And same, we got 7 and 8 out of 10 reviews, and I was having an argument with that Turbine Seaplane guy the other week about he's going, well, the game would review worse now. I was going, how?
What?
How would it review worse? Because other games are out. I'm going, yeah, other games came out, they got reviewed against it and didn't review as well, and our games got better. So how would our game review worse? And he wasn't getting it. So.
Oh dear.
That's when I decided we'd make Forum Manager 2016. It was like.
I like that.
It just have one big red button that says ban on it.
Ban, yeah.
I just continuously push that button.
I don't like banning anyone. I just prefer the banter.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I log onto the HB forums with a big bag of popcorn sometimes because there's some interesting reads.
Well, I sit there on a Saturday morning while watching the Premier League and just sit there on my tablet just replying, and I find it quite amusing. My girlfriend thinks I'm insane. She goes, "Why do you bother?" I was going, "It's hilarious."
It is funny.
One question. Well, we on TGC tours we've been finding with green firmness is a big issue. With there doesn't seem to be that slider doesn't seem to be working quite properly. There's either like medium firmness or maximum firmness. There's not really anything in the middle. And is that a fix that's coming anytime soon? Because being able to change that firmness would be a big deal. Because sometimes, like, too soft courses, like the big players are just destroying it, and the max firmness are really difficult. So.
Yeah, no, I had Paul looking at that actually, so he's going to get back to me to say how easy, because I think it's only set to 3 firmnesses or something at the moment, or maybe 5. But he's going to try and change it to a more less digital number, like more analog.
Oh, okay,
numbers.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go, chat.
So I'm actually curious about difficulty, and if you know, that'd be great. If a course gets rated, on the board, it gets rated easiest, easy, medium, hard, and hardest.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know what the kind of average score threshold is that gets those ratings? Is like even, par, medium?
Damn it! I'm in trouble here. Carry on. Sorry.
I don't know what the exact formula is, and I was going to actually just change it because it's different from the slope rating stuff. So the slope rating is actually way more accurate, because we use the official formulas for that, and the stuff that was on the easy, medium, hard was way before we done handicaps. So what I was going to do was change it so then they matched. So what happens sometimes is the slope rating is telling us it's a really hard course, but the actual text is showing us it's easy. And it's like so they're just conflicting all the time. So I want to actually change it. We made a formula for it, and I don't think it was quite good enough compared to the slope rating. Slope rating takes into account a lot more of the factors, like how good the players are that are playing it. Because I think if one of you guys went on there and just played a course, and you could absolutely destroy it, and it would get called easy, and then I'd go and play it like a brand new course, and it would get called hard. And it would be exactly the same course, where it doesn't take into account how good a player I am and you are.
Right. Yeah, it's also if a course is a stop at a TGC Tours stop, it's going to get a lot easier rating because those guys are so good.
Yeah, and that's why my handicap's gone down to 22. Because I'm playing TGC Tours courses now, where they've all got rated by the top handicap guys.
Yeah.
So they're getting classed as easy courses, and then I'm hitting like 7 over, and it's going, oh, you're bad.
See, that's happened to me a few times. Even I'll shoot like a 6 under and be like, oh, that was a good round, and my handicap gets worse, and it's like, oh
yeah.
Damn you, TGC Tours.
One quick thing, we're going to do the giveaway on 16. I have a quick question actually for you guys. Do you think that he swapped the bunker round for the winter theme? The bunkers look very white.
I think they're that same texture that came with the rustic theme. I don't think it's a wintry one. But I see what you mean by that. But
I'm going to an absolutely stunning course. This, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. It's really nice.
What's your favourite theme that you've put out so far, Anthony? Personally.
I would say rustic. I really like the rustic one. That was nice. The one we use quite a lot for screenshots and stuff and advertising is the alpine, because the mountains really capture people's imagination when they see it on a page.
Yeah.
That's why it was chosen for the front of the box for the maximum games.
And has that now been replaced by Swiss, or do you still use alpine?
No, I use Swiss now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't use any because I gave up all course design after you lot were so good at it that it was pointless me putting out my horrible looking courses based off of my primary school road. But
do you have anything special planned when the course list hits 100,000?
Oh no, that's a good thing. We should
That's
really.
pretty close. It's probably like 94 now. Probably 94 or 95,000.
I want to see a Little Brook Manor 2, except just make it stupidly hard. Just go the other way.
Yeah, just like pin greens.
Just ask Canuck how to make a green, and he'll show you.
I'll show you how to make a hard green.
Ridiculous green,
Yeah, Little Brook Manor, the hard version. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. We should do something for the 100,000 course.
But it's going to be an auto-gen, you know that, right?
Yeah, we know that. Yeah, that was the worst thing we did actually in the game that I wish we could take out. That is it. Put in the achievement for
there's
publishing.
there's an achievement for it, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't know how many people were going to create a course, so it was like, oh, we might be stuck and it'll only be like 10, so we better put an achievement in there and people will put courses out. And then now we've got 100,000. We were never expecting that. So it was so weird, this game, so we just didn't know what to expect from it.
So speaking of autogen courses, we've talked about this in previous shows, that because it is random and using a mathematical algorithm or something, theoretically it is possible if you pressed autogen enough, you could make Magnolia National.
Yeah, exactly. It's a monkey and a typewriter. Couldn't write Shakespeare. So, yeah. So definitely that is true. You could, but you could never really recreate Littlebrook Manor because that's really special.
That one is very unique.
No amount of monkeys could build Littlebrook Manor. Right, we've got the giveaway for this hole is LA Noire, which is made by the same people that make Grand Theft Auto.
One of my favorite games.
So the next game I'm going to play actually on my list because I also got that in the sale, in the summer sale, I think, for Steam.
It's
And
great.
that's where we get most of our giveaway games too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's a couple of dollars. Sure, tink.
Yeah.
So if you haven't played LA Noire, it is more of a adventure game where you're driving around the streets of, like 40s, 50s LA.
Yeah.
And you are a detective, and the main theme of the game is reading people's facial expressions and trying to tell if they're telling you the truth or not while you're investigating crime. It's an interesting game. It's very good.
Mm-hmm. Who's hitting on this one?
I don't know, I've just gone.
All right.
Didn't that game's really good? Everyone got laid off after it got finished. Is that what happened?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Didn't that happen
I
after
think-
one of the Call of Duties as well?
Yeah. Well, the two main guys got fired, didn't they? 'Cause
After one of the Modern
that's the
Warfare games, wasn't it?
Are they the guys that made the Division?
Oh man,
I'm not sure.
You'd be annoyed at that, wouldn't you? So I'm
No, that's
14 feet. Who guessed? Someone guessed it on the dot. I'm sure they did. Clutch
Yeah,
109 did.
He did, and he wins.
Congratulations, sir.
Welcome
Reach
along.
out to me.
Yeah, thanks very much. Again, contact Dr. Yeti after the show, either through the HB or TGC Tour forums, and he'll send you across a copy of your game. Let me just take that thingy off the screen. The three of us were actually talking about doing a Grand Theft Auto stream over the next couple of days.
Oh, do
The
it.
golf game's pretty good.
Oh, I almost aced 16.
I was really disappointed how good their golf game was when it was only just like a little mini game in their game. It's like,
Yeah,
man,
me too.
Oh,
How much money these guys have?
I actually started to try and then I didn't at the time because we didn't have things like cart paths yet, but I did start to try and recreate that golf course in this. I wonder if anyone's done it.
Los Santos?
Yeah, if
Los
not, I will do
Santos.
it. I will do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? And I'll stream myself building it on the channel. So yeah, Los Santos. And what I'll do is I'll play music from GTA while I do it. That'd be really funny. It's quite hard on that game though, isn't it? The actual golf on GTA it's really difficult.
Yeah.
It's
No,
set up
it's
like
not-
a 3-click, isn't it? And it's
Yeah,
a really
it's a
bad
3-click.
click.
Yeah.
But then Canuck, typical rage quit, just goes and smashes everyone with a golf club. I do it as well, don't you?
Oh, definitely. That's the whole point.
Well, we haven't really mentioned anything about this course as well, but I have been really having fun here at Monte Cervino.
Me too.
Yeah, it's a nice, relaxing, easier course. It's fun.
Great use of the
I'm
pine straw.
5 over.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything, Anthony.
Yeah. Although it's like I've been talking through a whole 11, 12, 13. 15.
Eventually, when you've done as many shows as us, we start getting the habit of being able to play and talk at the same time. But we had a few guests that have come on that have found it to be very difficult to concentrate on the game and try to discuss things. It's tough.
Yeah, for anyone who's actually just coming across us for the first time, or this is one of the first times, and is it good at designing? Over the last few weeks, we've done a few really good shows with some of the best designers. We've had Dr. Loden, Han, the CLV, Keith.
Yeah,
We've actually got one coming up with Friend Bomber very shortly. We had CSU Golfer, who's one of my personal favourite designers.
Oh yeah.
Go back and have a watch of some of those, because some of the insights they give and how they do it are very, very interesting as well.
And this week you got the guy on who made the most played course of all time.
Oh god.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Just excuse me for a minute. I think there's a record broken somewhere. Just go and find it.
Imagine if you had to work with me every day.
He just walks around saying that every day. Littlebrook Manor? Yeah, that's mine.
Have you seen the play count on Littlebrook Manor? It went up to 346.
He writes that on the whiteboard at work every day. Littlebrook Manor play count.
There's just a digital readout on one of the walls. It's a live play counter.
Yeah. It's one of
Live
HB
play
Studios' KPIs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. So I've actually given both courses we played today a 10, and I haven't just done that off they've both been very, very easy 10s. Absolutely brilliant. What did you chaps think?
I thought they were great, yeah. I gave them both a 10 as well.
Yeah, very high score for me as well. There was that one bunker on the first course that I gave it like a 9.8 because of, but Monte Cervino here I also gave a 10. I thought it was excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave it 10.
You had to say that. I gave it a 5. Oh, I'm not playing anymore.
I gave it a 5. Yeah, it was horrible.
The studio director said my course was crap. I'm not playing anymore.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, you can follow this channel. Most of you do already, but if you don't, there's a little heart button at the bottom left of the screen. Please give that a push. We're on pretty much this time every week. On doing a show like
HB
this.
Studios also has a channel that Keith runs. Give them some love.
Yeah, they need it to try and catch us up.
Yeah.
We also exist on Reddit, on Twitter, and on the HB forums and TGC forums as well. But massive thank you, Anthony, for joining us and giving up some of your day. Have you just said you're just taking extended lunch hour or something, or is it later than that?
No, I went down the pub for a couple of beers and then came down. So.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, my girlfriend works down the pub, so she was down there. So I went down to get something to eat and a couple of beers, and then came back into work. So it was
fantastic. But yeah, thank you very, very much for joining us. It's been a
no
real
problem.
pleasure.
Anytime. It's actually really, really enjoyable. A good way to spend my evening.
Oh,
excellent.
I quite enjoyed it.
Thanks for all the good work and keep it up. And that's
No,
not
no
just
problem.
from me, that's from everybody who's sitting in the chat room and so on right now. So.
Well, I think the same has to go out to all the designers, because if it wasn't for them, then the game wouldn't really be much. So it's like the courses make the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
fantastic.
So it's good that there's such talented people out there. As I've always said, people by nature are very creative. So if you give them enough tools, they'll make great things.
Yeah, and they definitely have done.
Well, you've given us the tools and we ran with them. So thank you.
Yeah.
No problem.
Brilliant. So we will see you all. Thanks very much for joining us in the chat room. A huge number of people. For everyone watching on YouTube, if you want to ask any questions about the show, feel free to comment in the section below. But otherwise, we will see you next week. Thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.